Zaria, thanks for joining us today. I am Jason, and Amy is here with us, and
Hi.
we're both professors at Wilmington University, and we've worked with Ryan before to do these, so we're happy to be invited back again.
hmm
We have a series of questions for you as you are the company president.
Yes, I am.
Very well. How do we pronounce the name of your company?
Asili. It's
Asili.
natural in Swahili.
Okay, very well. Thank you. All right, we're going to get started with our questions if you're okay.
Yep, I'm ready.
Excellent. So, please do tell us a little bit about yourself and the company which you and your teammates have started.
Okay, so I'm Zaria Young. I am from Wilmington. I actually go to Mount Pleasant High School, and I am in the IB program, which is like a college prep type of program. Um, our our product is the Taji Tamer. We came up with this product because it's like ever have that thing where it's something that you ever wish that was invented, and
hmm
it's, oh my gosh, I wish I could make it. And so we made that come true. And this was something that we wanted to make because every time I'm washing my hair, I'm always dropping a brush or something's always slippery. And so we just thought this would be like the perfect idea because it adjusts to your hand. So it's very limited on dropping or anything like that. So this was a good product to make.
Oh, and what's the name of the product again?
The Taji Tamer.
The Taji Tamer.
I
Yes.
like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what are you most proud of what are you most proud about regarding your experience in the JA company program?
I would say I'm most proud of the fact of actually being able to sell the product itself. When I first kind of heard of JA, I thought it was just learning how to be an entrepreneur, just like having classes about learning it and things like that. But I didn't know we were actually going to get the experience of making a product and actually selling it.
Wonderful. Glad you were able to get those sales out there for your product. Very well. All right. Dr. Danley will take us away with the next one.
Okay.
Hi. So
Hello, how are you?
good. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
So when you think about your academic future, what skills did you learn from JA?
I would definitely say teamwork
Let me see. It's breaking up just a
and
bit.
communication. And I would that because in order to have a,
Let me see. It's breaking up.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I would say teamwork and communication. And why I would say teamwork is because you really have to listen to each other's ideas to kind of like if someone doesn't like something about the product, you have to listen to them and work around it and be able to come together with an idea that works for both of you or all of you. And communication, because it's kind of the same thing. If someone doesn't, I feel like some people have to learn how to speak up in order to tell what they like and what they dislike, therefore that we can come together and make the product of our own, not just one person.
Awesome. When you think about your professional future, what skills did you learn from JA?
I would say speaking professionally because it comes when you have to sell your product. You can't just say, "Hey, buy my product." You have to be
Yeah.
able to speak to someone and say, "Hey, this is my product. I came up with this with a group of people and we would really like for you to buy it and give your feedback on it, things like that." And that really helps because you're able to speak up and talk to people. And also I would say um speaking in front of a crowd. And
hmm
I would say that as well because when I first gave my product to my mom, I didn't just tell my mom. She was actually on a meeting at the time. So I kind of presented it to her and her friends, and they all ended up buying it. So it was something that you have to be able to speak up and tell your product and tell all the things about it so that other people would want to buy it.
Awesome. Please don't think I'm rude as I'm typing. I'm just taking notes, so I hope it
You're
doesn't
fine.
distract you. I didn't want you to think I was doing something else. Dr. J,
Yes.
on to you.
All right. Zaria, I'm sorry, and oh, make sure I have am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, you are.
Zaria. Okay, I couldn't figure Zaria or Zaria. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
As the president of your company, what strategies did you use to keep employees motivated and engaged?
I think the biggest thing is really making sure that if someone isn't speaking up, to ask them, do you like that idea? And I think that's very important, because if you're not asking for other people's input or asking if they like the idea, later on they might end up not liking it, not telling people about it because they never really liked it from the beginning. So I think if we decide to change something, for instance, we had our very first product that we started with was a glove brush. It was supposed to be a glove, and we got people to, hey, do you like this idea? And some people were like, well, one of the things that I would change is the glove itself, because you, depending on the material, it might not be good underwater. So that was a good thing that we talked about, and we was like, that's actually a good feedback, so let's change it up. So changing it up and then asking the people that maybe aren't speaking, hey, do you like this idea? And yes or no. If they say no, you kind of get what they think would be better, and if they say yes, then we move on with the process. So I think the best thing is just asking, do you agree, do you not agree, and if not, give your input on what we should change.
Okay. I agree. I think having
do.
multiple voices is a way to go.
Yeah.
All right, let me get to your next one. What was your initial sales strategy and how did that impact your overall performance?
Our very first sales strategy was kind of like posting on Instagram and kind of like everybody repost it and say, hey, you buy my product and things like that. Um, but we did do that, but we found it more efficient to start doing it through family and friends, because it was easier to get the word around. Um, so that was kind of where we went with it, but we still use both strategies. We just found it more efficient to use the family and friends route, because it was easier to get people that to actually buy the product, and not only buy the product, be honest with the feedback.
Hmm, thank you. All right, Dr.
Okay, so we're at I think the last two questions. Um, Share with me how your company's business performance made an impact on your school or local community.
Um, I would say it kind of helped me to prioritize my time, being able to have that time to sit down and have a group conversation with my JA peers and work things out and things like that, and still be able to prioritize school and things like that. And that helped me manage my time by setting a time for everything I have to do. So because I'm virtual, I take the time on my Mondays to do the JA thing, and even after that, I set that time. We have that time from 3 to 6 to do that, and then between two, I get out of school at 1:45. So between 1:45 and 3, I'm able to get two classes of work done, because we only have 4 classes a day. So 2 classes of work done. Then after that 6 o'clock meeting, I'm able to go right back into doing my work, the other 2 classes, and it's much better to me prioritize my time. So I think that helped a lot.
Awesome. Now, how do you think how well your company did impacted your local community and then your overall school in general?
Um, I would say that it helped by allowing people to come together to talk about one thing. Like, what I mean by that is, when I first told my mom about the product, she told my neighbor about it. And so they had something to talk about. And if they didn't have anything to talk about before, now they do. So it kind of brings them together. And she kind of asked, my mom asked her like maybe like a week or two after she bought it. And she was like, how did you like the product? And then she kind of gave my mom feedback on it. And they actually talked about it for a little bit. So I think it brought my community together by being able to bring each other together and talk about something that they have in common now. And when it comes to school, I would say kind of the same thing. It kind of brings each other to talk about something. I have like we have like big tests coming up in school, so I was able to we all kind of came together to talk about some things that are new since we aren't in school right now. And I was like, oh, I'm actually in this group. It's called Junior Achievements, and we actually made our own product and are actually selling it. And although they might have not bought it, I was able to talk to them about it, and they kind of asked me questions like, well, what does it do? How does it help? How is it better than my brush at home? And just things like that. So we were able to talk about things like that. So even if they aren't buying it, it's still something that's easy to talk about.
That's awesome. All right, last one. What was a major problem that your company faced, and how did you handle it? How will that equip you to handle similar problems in the future? So what was the issue? How'd you handle it? And taking those learnings, how will that help you in the future?
Well, again, going back to the actual beginning of what we were going to do at first was the actual glove brush. Now, we had a couple of problems with it, and not only just the glove being a problem when it gets wet, but also how we were going to get the bristles through the glove without either ripping it or without it looking like tacky or anything. We had to find a way to get everything to work, because what our initial thing was I don't know if you've ever seen like the dog brush things that you just brush your dog like
Oh, yes.
it
Yep.
was kind of that type of thing, but longer bristles so that you can actually do it to your hair. And we thought our very thing was to make sure that you don't have to do extra stuff in order to wash your hair, meaning you could put the glove on, you detangle and do your hair all at once and the brush would stay on. That was our go-to. And then we were thinking, well, that might not really work because our hands are going to be feeling weird, so we might have to take it off in the middle of it. So things like that. So we ended up using our first thing was to get the brush and then use a adjustable clip on it, and that will work. And then we tried that and we realized that it wasn't really fitting enough on our hands for it to actually be best. And not only that, not knowing if it would adjust to every single person's hand. So what we did was we added another clamp. Therefore, if people with smaller hands, they can tighten it with both of them, and people with bigger hands can loosen it with both of them, or only use one. So it's all up to you at that point. And so that was how we fixed that problem, and just making sure that it was comfortable to everybody who uses it. And to test that out, we had a lot of different people try it. And another, I forgot what the last part was.
How will this help you handle problems in the future from
Yes.
what you learned?
So I think this would help us in the future because it's okay to change how things are. Everything's not going to be exactly how you want it from the very beginning, because it's okay for everything to change and adjust to be better. So if something is wrong and you change it and it actually ends up being better, that's a perfect thing. It's okay for everything to change. And I think that's important to know, because just for certain things, like even if you go to college for one thing and don't end up using that profession, it's fine because you end up liking what you do better anyway. So I
Mhm.
think it's helpful to know that it's okay to change what you want as long as you like it.
Awesome. Well, that's it for our questions.
Yeah, I just have one follow-up if I can. And my apologies. I couldn't get together on taking my notes. And it was right in the beginning where I asked you to tell us a little bit about yourself. I got that you are at Mount Pleasant High School. Are you a junior, a senior, a sophomore?
I am a senior.
A senior. Got it. Got it.
I'm graduating this year, and I'm actually in the IB program. So we have like these huge IB tests coming up.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Dr. D, that's all from me. Ryan, that's all I think from us.
Very good. Well, thank you all very much, Zaria. Fantastic job. Feel good about that. And you can go off and prepare for those extremely large IB exams you have coming up, okay?
Good
Thank you
luck.
so much.
All right, take care.
It was nice to meet you.
You as well.